Your crush likes someone else. What should you do? You still want to be close to him, but you don't know. Just determine if the friendship is more important than y'all being booed up. And if you like somebody else, you just gotta let him go and observe how he is in that relationship with somebody else, because you might find out that you're glad that you did do it. It happens. What's too young to date? Ask your parents. I didn't go on my first date until I was 16. So 16 was my age. And that's when I went on my first date. But yeah. So quick announcement before we get started, right? So if you have not joined, hey, happy dogs. If you have not joined Girlfriend Gang, what's up, YouTube? If you have not joined Girlfriend Gang, what is you doing? We got another Zoom call this Saturday, 7 p.m. The only way you can register and come on is if you are a part of Girlfriend Gang. And we get on and we're going to have a topic that we talk about that's away from TikTok. You will not have access to it if you're just on TikTok. So, Lil Sis, I need you to come on over to Girlfriend Gang. It is completely free. It is a safe environment. I've made sure that a lot of stuff that goes on, I can see. So be sure to join Girlfriend Gang. And when you do, you get day one from my book, The Power of Standing Out devotional, and from the journal. You get that for free, day one. And when we reach 100 members, I said 100 members. When we reach 100 members, I'm doing a giveaway of some Girlfriend Gang exclusive merch I have not even released yet. So believe me when I say that you want to be there. Okay. I'm seeing some questions. Help with homework. If it's math, go to Khan Academy, Khan. If you're insecure about your teeth and smiling, why? It's important that you smile. I used to be insecure about mine, though. I still am a little bit because of these, like right here. So I might get those filled in, not for the world, but for myself, just because that's what I want. Yes, I did, Kiriana. You got a boyfriend in Roblox. You don't need no boyfriend online you ain't never met. Girl, you about to be catfish. Don't let that go. Hey, Scarlett. All right, so let's get started. So we talked about Girlfriend Gang. You need to join so you can get on a Zoom call this Saturday, and then go pre-order the book, The Power of Standing Out. It is a 10-day devotional for young women about loving yourself, loving who you're created to be, and how to start that journey, because it is a lifelong journey, believe me. Hey, Queen Love, you still haven't found your cat? I'm sorry, Scarlett. I'm sorry. All right, so last time we talked about boundaries, and we just really went over what boundaries are, right? So boundaries, what do we say? They're acceptable and unacceptable behavior towards you. So that's what a boundary is. So we talked about in friendships and we talked about in relationships. So what is an acceptable boundary for you within a friendship and within a relationship? What is acceptable behavior that you want somebody to have towards you if they say that they're your friend or if they say that they're your boyfriend, right? We want to be able to set those boundaries in place because we need to preserve our emotional energy. We need to preserve our mental, our emotional, our spiritual, even our physical. Preserve all of that, and that helps with the boundary. I talked about last time, so many of y'all are in my inbox on TikTok and on Instagram asking what you should do about your toxic friends. And my response is always the same. But the thing is, you wouldn't have to be in my inbox if you set a boundary, right? Many times we know people are toxic before we even allow them to come into our life. Can we be real? We see, that's why some of you all say, oh, I have a crush. What should I do? I say, make them your friend first so you can observe. Because many times, especially when it comes to with guys, many times if you're just their friend at first and you all go to the same school or you're in the same, after school program or whatever, you will, if you're just friends, you will observe his behavior. And many times you'll be like, I don't think I want to do that. Like we start looking beyond the looks. We start going beyond, how fly he dresses. He got the new J's. He got the new outfits. We start looking beyond that when he start acting as a friend and he feels real free. And then we say, oh, you like to cheat. Oh, you like to talk bad about your girlfriend. Oh, you like to do all of them things. I don't want that in my life. But you don't know that if you don't set a boundary. All right. So it is important that we set boundaries. Um, and it's a sense of agency or a sense of control over your physical space, your body, and your feelings. Right. So we want to be able to set that up. So when we allow people to come close to us, they know what to expect and they know what we expect from them, you know. And like I told you before, you have to have the confidence and the boldness to say, hey, Brooklyn, the confidence and the boldness to say, these are my expectations if you're in my space. Why? Because I love me. I embrace what I know God has put on the inside of me. And because I do all of that, and because I know what I possess, hey, Adesia, because I know what I possess, I can't have everybody around me 24/7. Hey, Nate Dancer. I have to protect what I possess. I have to protect what's on the inside of me because there's only one of me. There never has been and there never will be another. And so because of that, that means that I am special. I am unique. I stand out. You can't compare me to anybody else. And for that reason and that reason alone, I have to protect my space. I have to protect my emotional energy. And if you come in with straight nonsense, then I can't have you over here. If you come in with nonsense, that means that I can't protect myself because I can't be everything I'm supposed to be because I'm over here trying to get you together. I can't be who everything I'm supposed to be. I can't pay attention to my intuition. I can't pay attention to all of the great things I'm supposed to be doing because I'm so worried about you being a real friend. Yeah. So we're going to set some boundaries in place. Hey, my gang and me. We're going to set some boundaries in place. We're going to set some boundaries up so we can start to protect what we possess. That is important. That is so important. People waste their lives away being worried about everybody else and everybody that they've allowed into their space. They're so worried about making everybody else happy that at the end of the day and the end of their life, they look around and say, what have I done for me? Hey, Nate Dancer, what have I done for myself? How have I helped myself to grow? How have I helped me to grow? And many times people look around, they realize they haven't because they were so pressed trying to make everybody else happy. They were so pressed trying to do what everybody else thought they should do or what everybody else wanted them to do. And they were so busy trying to heal from hurts. And they were so busy trying to, ignore the hurts and move past the hurts to invite people in their space that actually cared about them. We got to stop wasting time. Right. So we're going to move past that. Hey, Valerie. So that's what we talked about last live. If you missed it, it was good. If you missed it, I want you to head over to my YouTube where I am right now on live and watch that replay because it's good. It's good. It's good. All right. So today we're talking about how do I set the boundaries, right? So it's not just going to be, get on my face, you toxic. No, we're not going to make it that. It's these are the expectations and they're based on something specific to me. Okay, your boundaries and my boundaries look different. Why? Because we have different life experiences. We've been through different things. We're different people. Hey, Rikishi. Hey, Valerie. We've just had different experiences that got us on this specific path. So what happens is we end up setting different boundaries. So your boundaries are not going to look like mine. Okay. So your boundaries are really based on personal choice. So it's not about, I pull a boundary from here, I YouTube or I Google a boundary. It's a personal choice. It's how you're feeling within a moment. So what's one of the things that's important about a boundary and a way that you can kind of start to gauge what some of your boundaries should be. You're fine, Millie. Is how certain situations make you feel. And so many of us can remember times we were hurt. We can remember times we were let down. We can remember times that somebody made us upset, somebody made us cry. And we can trace that emotion and we could trace that situation back to multiple relationships or multiple friendships. So for example, if you found out that, one friend spread rumors about you, and that made you get really angry. You either got really angry, really tense, or it made you cry. It made you upset. And then you had another friend that did the same thing. You got either really angry or you got really upset. And so that by itself, the emotional response that you had to that automatically says, having a friend, a boundary within my friendships is you don't go outside of our friendship and talk about me. If you have an issue, you need to bring it to me. So that's a way that we set up a boundary. Okay, so that's one. Another one, if we're thinking about relationships, it could be Don't leave, or let's say don't ghost me for more than 48 hours. If you're in a relationship and you feel like you haven't talked to your boyfriend in like 2 days, and you're like, what is the problem? Like, why am I not hearing from you? You talk about you committed to me, I'm committed to you, but I ain't heard from you in 2 days. I don't really like that. My anxiety running high. I'm trying to figure out if you're out here cheating. I can see you posting, on social media, but you ignore my phone calls. So based off of how my heart rate feels when I'm seeing that you left me on red after 48 hours, I got a problem with that. Now 24, you might be on punishment. So I'm not even gonna hold you. You might be playing a game all day. So I'm not even gonna be upset with you. But we talking 2 days now. And I know you saw that message I sent you. So that becomes a boundary. In a relationship with me, I like communication. So my boundary within my relationship is we have to have consistent communication. And if I'm not going to hear from you for a while, I would like to know why. So it's based off of personal experience. A boundary, figuring out what your boundary may be within a relationship or a friendship, is based off of personal experience. But it's also based off of, how did this make me feel? How did this make me feel? And it doesn't all have to be negative. It's also positive, So within a friendship, I'm good, the crazy fam. How are you? So within a friendship, one thing that I like is, if I have a business or I'm doing something, I would really like it if you show me support. That doesn't mean you have to buy it. That just means maybe I would like for you to share it. Maybe I would like for you to like it. Let your audience become my audience just for this post. So within a friendship, my boundary can be, I would like for us to support one another in whatever we're doing. So if you're a singer, I'm gonna share a video of you singing. If you have a small business, I'm gonna share the post of you and your small business. And it's not, I got to spend all this money on your business. I got to spend all this money coming to see you sing, but I show you some type of support. Why is that important to me? Why is that a boundary to me? Because I appreciate somebody showing support, not just behind the scenes, but also out in front. I want to know that you support me, and I want you to show your support of me as your friend and what I'm doing at that time. So that's something that I would like to see. Don't have me out here posting all this stuff and you ain't said nothing. Don't have me out here and I post something about my business and I got 1 or 2 likes and ain't none of them from you. Or I got 100 likes and ain't none of them from you. No, I would like to be supported. And with that boundary being set, I will also be able to show support at the same time. So your boundary, like I said, coming up with boundaries is based on your personal experience. It's also based on how something has made you feel, whether positive or negative. Another good one is thinking about, what are your basic rights? What is a right that everybody has? One of those is being respected. So that could be a boundary that we all share. If you're putting a list together, which I will hope you do while we're on the call, while we're on the live, what are some basic human rights? The right to be respected is one. So that is a boundary. I want to be respected in relationships and in friendships. The moment you cross that boundary and you do not show me respect, then we have an issue. Because after I told you I would like to be respected, because many times we expect that everybody is just supposed to know what to do. And I can admit I've been foolish in that area as well, especially being like older, like being an adult. I feel like I've been in denial about everybody having the same upbringing and everybody being told the same things that I was told growing up. So respecting people's differences, respecting people's beliefs, respecting people's opinions. Everybody in the world ain't come up like that. Some people were taught, you are right. You are the only one that's right. And if anybody else believes differently, you need to go off on them, and you need to let them know they're wrong 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Like, some people really brought up like that. And so now that I'm out in the world as an adult, I'm like, man, some of y'all really ain't got no common sense to me. But to you, it's fine. Because that's how you were brought up. That's how you were raised, So if anything, setting that If you come across somebody that was raised like that, where if you're wrong, I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong, your belief, your opinion, I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong, especially if it's different from mine. Then if you meet a person like that, the first thing you need to do is establish a boundary. Hey, I expect to be respected in this friendship. I expect to be respected in this relationship. The minute that doesn't happen, we're gonna have to sit down and have a discussion, because this is a non-negotiable. Right? Being respected is a basic human right. That's a non-negotiable. Another one is you personally, and sometimes you have to set boundaries with yourself too. Right? So we have friendships, we have relationships, but we also have to have some self boundaries. So I say to myself, hey, self, your needs are just as important as everybody else's needs. And some of y'all, even though y'all young, y'all struggle with that. Y'all putting everybody else's needs before yours. You putting everybody else's wants before yours. You putting all the likes before yours, all the comments and shares before yours, before what you like, before what you want to share. So that's why some of y'all on social media compromising who you are, doing stuff you said you would never do, because you putting the likes of strangers before your values and your own personal beliefs. So you have to sometimes you have to set boundaries for yourself. Hey, self, we're not going to go down that path. And then when you notice self crossing that boundary, you got to sit back with self and say, hey, we need to have a conversation. So like, for example, I said to myself when I was in college, I said, I will never be physically active with anybody that I'm not in a relationship with and that I don't love or strongly like. That was what I said for myself my first year of college. By the time I got to my sophomore year, I had already budged on my boundary. So I'm out here with strangers. I'm out here one night standing. I'm out here with friends with benefits, because I had passed my own boundary. And I had to look at self in the mirror and say, hey, self, we not looking the way we're supposed to be looking. We're not the person that we thought we were supposed to be. We are completely compromised and we're completely stomped on that boundary. And now we're feeling heartbroken. And now we out here wondering why don't nobody like us. And now we out here wondering why our heart is consistently broken, because we crossed that boundary. And so we got to reel it in. And so it's always good to have a boundary for self, or boundaries for self, so that the moment you cross them, you begin to go back and analyze what happened. You begin to go back and say, hey, self, remember when we said we weren't going to do that because of these reasons? Now we need to go back and find out why you did that. Because something somewhere is broken. Something somewhere is not operating the way that it's supposed to be operating. Hey, I'm questioning, but we're talking about boundaries, part 2. Another one, not so giving yourself, this is another self boundary. I do not have to meet the unreasonable and unrealistic expectations from other people, from the world. That is a self boundary. And it's also a relationship and friendship boundary. One thing that I have really come to know being older, with this, why I'm telling you now, because I want you to get it before you get to my age, is some people don't have the capacity to be what you think they're supposed to be. So many times we come into friendships, relationships, even with your parents. That's the biggest one that I had to recognize. And that didn't happen till last year. I'm telling you. Last year, like me and my mom, we have a decent relationship. It's not where it used to be. And that's based on different factors that I'll talk about, during story time another time. But I realized after 30 years that I was holding my mom to this unrealistic standard of what I thought a mom should be. Now, where did I get this idea from? TV. I got it from seeing my friends and how their friends act with their moms. I got it from seeing, how other parents will respond and how my mom would not respond. I got it from just basic things that I thought a mom was supposed to do. I found that my mom was not doing. So when I say stuff like that, I mean, when I got married, my mom was upset that I got married the way that I did. And that's a whole nother story too. But in my wedding, before my wedding, she did not sit down with me and have any type of conversation about getting married. She did not sit down with me before I got married, before I walked down the aisle and, shared a moment with me. I did not have that something new, something old, something borrowed, something blue with her. I had none of that. And so I felt that as a mother, I should at least have the bare minimum. Hi, Aubrey. I should at least have some of these bare minimum things that I thought I needed, that I thought every mom was wired to do. But the truth was, some moms are not wired that way. And the reason why is because they didn't get that. So they don't know how to respond. They don't know what to do in those situations, especially if they're frustrated or they're not really understanding or they're not ready to let go. Many times they can't give us what we think we need. And so we end up spending time mad at our moms for years. Mad, frustrated, angry, saying to ourselves, why can't I have a normal family? Why can't I have a normal life? Why can't my mom be like other moms? And truthfully, it's because there is an unrealistic expectation that we have for our parents. And so I had to stop at 30 years old. And so I'm telling y'all this now. So y'all stop doing it. I had to say to myself, I have to love my mother where she is and for who she is. She wasn't the type that walked me through every single stage of becoming a woman. When I started my cycle, when I started my period, my mom gave me a book, turned to the page in the encyclopedia about the reproductive organs and about periods. She said, here, read this. I'm going to work. Call me if you have questions. That's all I got. And then I talked to her later that day. She said, did you have any questions? I said, no. And she said, okay. That is the only conversation that we had about a period. That's the only conversation we ever had about the reproductive system. But in my mind, I said, every mom should be, some moms throw their daughter's period parties. Some moms, they're excited. They rejoice. They call. They tell your auntie. They tell your uncles, hey, Mina. My mom didn't do that. She didn't know to do that. But I had the expectation that she was supposed to based on what I was seeing on TV and what I was seeing other moms do. But sometimes sometimes our parents don't have the capacity to do the things that we think they should know to do. And the same goes with you. There are things that people will want from you in a relationship that you do not have the capacity to do, that you're not even familiar with it to even know how to go about doing it. And other people that come into your life, like some of us, we see these TikTok relationships and YouTube relationships and all this stuff and all these cute pictures, and they go into the pumpkin patch and they taking all these cute pictures and they going on all these extravagant dates. And so you look for a relationship with that in mind of being a relationship. You say, oh, I just don't want to be alone anymore. I want to be in a relationship. Hey, Fabiola, I want to be in a relationship. I want somebody to date me. And so we have this pretty picture painted in our minds of what a relationship is supposed to look like. And then we get in a relationship and they're like, I'm not doing that. I don't do that. We just started dating. We're not even 18 yet. I don't even have a job for real. And then we say, this is not a real relationship. I don't want to be with you no more. You got on my nerve. Now we fighting and you're angry at them, trying to figure out why you're angry, excuse me. And it's because they're not matching up with the picture you have in your mind of the unrealistic expectation of what it means to be in a relationship. These people on TikTok got money. These people on YouTube got money because they own TikTok and because they own YouTube. So it's important for you to say, hey, for myself, I am not going to allow myself to push myself and always feel negative about myself because I'm trying to reach really an unrealistic expectation that's being set. I'm never going to be skinny. I'm never going to have permanent straight hair. Even if I got a relaxer and relaxed all my curls, about 2 weeks later, you're going to see some curls at these roots. You just are. I'm never going to be dark. I'm never going to be white. But many times the world tries to sell me this expectation that I need to be lighter. I need to have straight hair. I need to be thin in order to be loved, in order to be beautiful, in order to be accepted. And I have to give myself permission and set the boundary in my own life to say, I cannot live up to that expectation. It's realistic. And I give myself permission to not have to live up to that expectation. Aubrey, I want you to inbox me, okay, after we're done talking about this. I see what you're saying. I just can't respond to it. So it is important that you set a boundary even for yourself in that area. I am not going to push myself to try to attain and reach these unrealistic expectations that the world is trying to tell me I need to reach. Because you end up not loving the true jewel that you are. You end up thinking that you're less than amazing. You end up thinking that you're less than beautiful because you're not meeting up with the expectations of what normal is and what beauty is. And you end up trying to run this race, and you end up trying to be this person that you really don't have the capacity to be, because that's not how you were created to be. Like for me, the unrealistic expectation for me, especially when I was in college, when I was singing, was that I needed to talk higher and I needed to start talking up here if I was going to sing soprano. And I couldn't always talk in my normal voice because speaking in my normal voice meant that I was not speaking in a healthy tone. And so I literally started to walk around talking like that. But that's not my natural voice. And I ended up damaging my singing voice and my speaking voice even more, trying to have a voice that I was not born with. That was an unrealistic expectation that was set for me. And I did not have a boundary in place for me and also for my relationship with my voice teacher to say, this is my natural voice. So we're going to have to figure a way around it, a way for me to speak more healthy in this tone, because this is the voice I've been given and it's not going anywhere. But back then I didn't have the boldness to say that. And so I need for you to have that. I just started to say, this is my voice. I'm proud of it. I can be loud. I can talk quiet if I need to. I can speak in a more quiet tone if that's what's necessary. But on a regular basis, this is the voice and this is the tone you're getting. I don't know if any of y'all saw Kamala Harris last night at the debate. But that woman, I'm not saying I agree with everything she's done. I'm not saying, woo, she's a perfect candidate. I'm not saying any of that. But watching her stand up for herself, stand up for her place and where she was on that stage made me so happy. There were times the vice president continued to interrupt her, and she said, I'm talking, I'm speaking. And she made her voice heard. I don't care if y'all don't watch that debate. I don't care about none of that. But what I'm saying is there is an importance in letting your voice be heard because you truly have something to say. And so using your voice is important. So even setting that boundary in place, I'm not going to change my voice for you. I'm not going to change the boldness I have in my voice for you. For me, it was being extra. I'm not going to change being extra, being over the top, doing the most. I'm not changing that for you because it makes you uncomfortable. Because many times we get in situations where people want us to, can you turn that down a little bit? Can you, is it possible you could talk in a different tone? No, because the only reason you want me to do that is because when I speak in my bold voice, when I speak with confidence, it makes you feel some type of way. It makes you feel less than because I'm walking in my confidence. So no, ma'am, you're going to have to adjust. And setting that boundary in place. I'm not going to live up to your unrealistic expectation. Dwight, tell me in my inbox. I'm not going to live up to your unrealistic expectation of becoming somebody that I was never born to be. Anytime somebody or something or the world asks you to be somebody you were never created to be, that is an unrealistic expectation, period. When I was living in the UAE, there were times that when I would go to the grocery store, and even when I would see some women, those women in the UAE, this is like where Dubai is. So I was like an hour from Dubai. So I would go to the grocery store, and first of all, the women that live in that country are absolutely beautiful. If you've never been to the Middle East, if you've never seen, a Middle Eastern woman or anything, hey, Janaya, if you've never seen one, I need you to understand these women are beautiful. And even when their faces are covered up, doesn't matter. I went to a few of the weddings, and at the weddings, the women would not have they call them abayas and their shaylas on. They wouldn't have them on. These women were dressed to the nines. Dwight 105, inbox me, okay? Because I'm talking. These women are dressed to the nines. They're absolutely stunning. They're absolutely beautiful. They have beautiful smiles, beautiful skin, beautiful hair. But I would go to the grocery stores, and you know what I saw? Whitening cream. These women have beautiful skin tones. And because it's very hot over there, their skin tones can go on. They can be a little bit darker. They're definitely darker than I am. These women are absolutely beautiful. But they still felt that they had to be white in order to be beautiful. That is an unrealistic expectation. Why? Because they will never be white. They did not come into this world white. They will never be white. This is not to say white is not beautiful. That is not what I'm saying at all, period. What I'm saying is how you came into this world is exactly how God needed you to be here. How you came into this world is the beauty that you possess that nobody else has. But these women over there, beautiful, gorgeous women, had whitening cream. I even saw a few women that were beautiful, dark complexions. And I mean, absolutely gorgeous, that would literally have on white makeup to make them look my skin tone. Because they were trying to live up to this unrealistic expectation that they had to be white to be accepted. And it's something, unfortunately, that is taught to many people, that is taught to many girls. What you see on television most of the time, especially recently, is starting to get a little bit better. But recently, it's whiter skin, blonde hair, blue eyes. Nothing's wrong with white skin, blonde hair, blue eyes. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me twisted. I love all of y'all, no matter what y'all look like. But what I'm saying is, when that is the only message, or that's the main message that is being sold to women that don't look like that, then girls feel like they have to live up to an unrealistic expectation or take a terrible detour where they do the complete opposite and they drop their values at the door to be noticed, to be liked, to be loved, to be shared. So when you set this boundary in place of, I am not going to compromise myself to live up to an unrealistic expectation. In fact, I'm not even going to address unrealistic expectations. Then that protects yourself. That protects your sanity. That protects your mental health. Because now when you see it, you turn the television and you don't see anybody that looks like you. You either change the channel or you just enjoy the show for what it is. And you understand that it doesn't take away from what you already possess. It doesn't take away from your natural beauty. But if that boundary is not in place, every time you turn the television and somebody doesn't look like you, that is adored by fans and has all these followers and all of these different things, then you feel less than. You feel like your beauty doesn't matter. You feel like you're not beautiful. You feel like you have to do all of these things to change yourself. And that is not true. So you have to set these boundaries in place with yourself and also with other people. Because other people will try to put unrealistic expectations on you. Other people will try to put unreasonable expectations on you. You get into a relationship and the guy says, look, if we're going to be together, we got to do something every night. No, sir. Stop right there. That is unreasonable. It's just unreasonable. First of all, y'all shouldn't be out here doing it no way. But I know the times. So some of y'all is out here doing it. But that's unreasonable. Some boyfriends may say, why every time the new J's come out, if you really love me, you got to buy them. Stop right there, sir. That's unreasonable. Don't ask me to do something that's so far-fetched. Don't ask me to do that. That's unreasonable. But if we get in relationships and we don't put these boundaries in place, then we feel bad and we feel like we're not good enough because we can't meet the unrealistic expectation. And y'all sitting up, oh, I'm such a bad girlfriend. He gonna break up with me. What can I do in order to get him what he need? What can I do in order to get him the new J's? And now you out here compromising yourself and doing stupid stuff or something you were saving up for yourself. You now taking that money to go spend on him and some new J's, and he gonna break it with you next week. Oh, I thought I said something. We have to set boundaries in place, even with friends. If you're gonna be my friend, you need to talk to me every day on the phone. That's unreasonable because I don't talk on the phone every day. I don't like to talk on the phone every day. I like talking on the phone maybe once a week. I need to talk every day. That's unreasonable because that's an unrealistic expectation for me. And so because of that, we're gonna have to go ahead and we probably should just not be friends. I mean, it is what it is. I love you. I love you so much. I think we will be great friends. But if you're putting that in place as something that you need, and I'm letting you know for me that's unrealistic and you don't want to compromise, yeah, we probably just shouldn't be friends. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Choo Choo. Another thing that your boundary should be based on is your values. Okay. So values are basically the things that are important to the way you live and work. Okay. They also determine your priorities. Maggie, I got a video on getting over your ex. Go watch it. So when it comes to what a value is, well, I just said it, but basically a value are the things that are very important to you. It's how you gauge success in your life. It's how you gauge, it's just how you gauge the track that your life is on and if you're happy with it or you're not. So those are your values, things that are very important to you, things that you don't normally compromise on them. So some examples are like family, loyalty, your beliefs, your religion, your religious practices. Adventure could be something that you value. I know that's something that I value. I like to have some type of adventure, like, every few weeks, like a long road trip or go to a brand new place I've never been to before, or just something. I just want to do something new I've never done before. It's something that it just feeds like my soul. Because I'm adventurous. I like to be out the house. Like I noticed today, I hadn't been out the house since Sunday. And I was like, I got to get out this house. I got to get out. I got to get out. I love y'all, but I got to get out this house. Okay. I can't stay in this house because that's my value, right? My value is I like adventure. I like to be out of the house. I like to be around people. So adventure is an important value to me. So because of that, some of the boundaries I might put in place are like in a relationship is, hey, I would like to do something exciting at least 3 times a week. That's important to me. That's a value I have. A value you may have is family. So if your boyfriend says, if it's like your mom's birthday and your boyfriend says, well, you need to skip your mom's birthday. You need to come out with me so you can hang with my boys. No, this is a value that I have, and this is a boundary. So I'm never going to put you before family until I get a ring on my finger. That's my boundary. Right. And then we have a conversation after a ring has been put on my finger and you vow to love me forever, better or worse. But that's my boundary because that's something I value. A freedom could be a value. So if you feel like the person you're in a relationship with says, or your friend says, we need to hang out, we need to sit at lunch every single night. I mean, every single day at school. Like you need to be my lunch buddy. You need to sit with me no matter what. I'm sorry. One of my boundaries is I'm free to kind of do what I want. So if there's somebody new in school and I want to get to know them, I want to go sit with them. If sometimes my other friend comes to lunch and I didn't know they were coming to lunch, I like to sit with them. But I don't want to feel like I'm bound to you every single day. That's a boundary I have, is my freedom. Loyalty is definitely a good boundary to have, especially when you're in a relationship. hey, if you are going to be committed to me, because remember, we talk about it is a privilege to date me, it's a privilege to be my friend. So because it's a privilege to date me, that means that I chose you out of other people that I could have chosen. That means that I watched you as you were a friend. I watched how you interacted with other women, and I saw that you were pretty good at it. I saw that you were pretty nice to other women. I saw that you're a gentleman. I saw that you had some type of sense. So I'm going to say, okay, when it comes to a relationship, because of that, there needs to be some type of loyalty here. If you're not going to be loyal, hey, God never leaves. If you're not going to be loyal, then we don't even need to engage in this. We can remain friends. But if loyalty is not what you're bringing to the table, because I know what I bring to the table. I know that I stay in a committed relationship. I know that I am very supportive. I know that, I can be by your side and support you when you're going through a hard time. Those are things I know I bring to the table. Because I know I bring those great things to the table, and many of these other women out here do not. It is a privilege for you to be with me. So because it's a privilege for you to be with me, and I say, yes, let's date, and you're actually telling people that we're dating, you need to bring some type of loyalty to the table to match my loyalty. If you cannot do that, then we don't even need to go further. And y'all have to be bold about these boundaries. Hey, Ocean Princess, you have to be bold about these boundaries. Hey, I love spooky season. Because if you're not bold about the boundaries, inbox me. Sorry, hold up. If you're not bold about the boundaries, then you cannot be surprised when somebody continues to hurt your feelings. You cannot be surprised any longer when somebody cheats on you. You can't be surprised when somebody keeps talking to you like trash. That's in your inner circle. I'm not just talking about random strangers. I'm talking about people that you have allowed to be close to you. I'm talking about people that you have allowed to that you told some of your secrets to. I'm talking about people that you walking around holding hands with, calling baby, texting all night long. And y'all sitting up sad because they playing y'all. That's right, because you did not set a limit, a boundary. That's it. Y'all sitting up here wondering why y'all friends have become toxic. You wonder why your friends is calling you names. You wonder why your friends out here trying to steal your man. You wonder why your friends abusing you emotionally, verbally, because you did not set a boundary. That's why. And if you would have set a boundary, the toxic people would have stayed away because they know you're not playing. The minute I say, hi, it's nice to meet you. Oh, you want to be BFFs? I really don't give that title out that freely. And it's really something that people kind of work up to in my life now. Like I'm doing something where I'm caring and I'm embracing what I carry because I'm so amazing. And this is not to brag because you're amazing too. But I know that I carry an answer for the world. And so I can't let everybody in my space. And so if you're willing, because I think we will be great friends too. But if you're willing, I would like to give us some time to get to know each other better, inform you of my boundaries, give you time to create boundaries as well. And we go from there. I think that would be great. And somebody that's full of nonsense is going to be like, girl, that's doing too much. Who do you think you are? I think I'm rare. I think I'm one of a kind. I think I have an answer for the world. I think I'm the only one that'll ever be on this planet. And so that, that makes me a pretty big deal because it does. And the toxic people be like, girl, bye. I'm not even cool. But somebody that got some sense, that's it. They will respect you. Somebody that got some sense and also are learning about boundaries or have been taught about boundaries or hear the words that you're saying and they want to know more. Because there'll be some people that are just as kind as you are. There'll be some people that want real quality relationships and real quality friendships that they'll be like, where did you learn about boundaries from? Like, can you talk to me about that more? Because I think I would like to create some too. Sure, let's sit down. Let me talk to you about boundaries. Or let's go over to YouTube. You have your phone. We can go over to YouTube and watch my big sister's videos. She talks about boundaries. Okay, cool. Then y'all coming up with boundaries together. And then you spending time getting to know each other. You not letting them all the way in because you like, wait, I still don't know. You can still be crazy, right? You can look real nice, but I'm gonna give you some time because the truth is, whenever you meet somebody initially in relationships or friendships, they are not their authentic self, at least within the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, truthfully, about 3 months. Nobody is really their true self because everybody's putting on a persona, a fake persona to get somebody to like them and be comfortable. So you want to give people time to start showing you their true colors. You want to create mini tests to see what happens, right? Going to them and saying, I heard this about you. If they start popping off on you, you already know, nope, they didn't respect me. That's all right. But if they say, you know what? Thank you for telling me about that. I'm gonna go see who did that. Okay, she respectful. She know how to control her emotions a little bit. She looks like she could be a good friend, somebody on my side. How should you let somebody go? So first thing you want to do, you want to let them know what they're doing that is impacting you in the way that it is. You want to give them a chance to change. You want to give them grace, right? Because we all want grace. All of us want a second chance, and we all deserve a second chance. If they continue to do it, they're a repeat offender. So then we're going to sit down and have a different conversation. Hey, I told you that I didn't like when you did A, B, C, and D, and you continue to do it without apology. Now, if they're doing it, like, you know what, you said you didn't like that. I'm sorry, I continue to do it. You're like, okay, cool. That's growth. I appreciate it. But if they continue to do it with no apology and they still not even paying attention, they doing it, that means they didn't hear you. That means what you said went in one ear and out the other. So you know what? I appreciate the friendship and the time that we spent together, but I let you know a few weeks ago that I really didn't like when you did A, B, C, and D, but you continue to do it. And I really don't appreciate that. And so I think we need to take some time apart as friends to really kind of gather our thoughts to see if this is really something we want to continue doing. What if it's my parents that don't respect my boundaries? Ooh, I will write a letter and talk to them about what they're doing and you have to, the thing that's important is, thank you, Autumn, you have to identify the emotion. You can't just come out and say, because a lot of parents don't know about boundaries either. So you have to first go in, and I want you to watch my video on writing letters because it's on my feed. But let them know, identify the emotion first. What are you feeling when they do A, B, C, or D? And then you continue to construct a letter around it. And that's on my TikTok feed. But check that out. Because that definitely happens. Definitely happens. So it's important that y'all set these boundaries. Hey, Dawn. Because if you do not, you will continue in the pattern that you're living in now. Why are we continuing to do that? Like, it should get to the point. What about toxic aunties saying, write them a letter? I'm sorry, Izzy. I'm sorry to hear that. Hey, Slavery. What was I saying? I want you all to get to the point where you don't need my advice anymore. I don't think that'll happen for a while. Not just for these reasons, but for other like grown-up reasons, stuff y'all want to know about as you get older. But when it comes to toxic, like if you see I'm talking about toxic friends or relationships, if you see I'm talking about boundaries, I want you to be like, oh, I already know that, and keep going. That's eventually how I want it to be. I don't want you to have to need me forever. I want it to be a period of time where you learn, where we help break the old things off. We learn what the real truth is, and then we apply the truth. And then when you start seeing these videos, when they come back around again, because it's a new entry of Lil Sisters, I need you like, oh, she already told me about that. And then also telling other people as well. Excuse me. Like, hey, you dealing with what? Oh, check out our YouTube video. Because you always want to help other people grow around you. Spooky season, inbox me your question. Okay. There we go. Inbox me. Okay. These are important though. Bye, official. How can I deal with audibly bullies? I'm not sure what that is, but inbox me, okay? Janore. All right. But it's important that y'all set these boundaries so y'all not always in my inbox about the same people. I love talking to you. How you get rid of a toxic friend? I just talked about that. So check the replay on this. I love you too, Bad Vibes. It is important that y'all stop. I love y'all. I love talking to y'all. I love when y'all write me in my inbox. I love engaging with you all the time. It's not that I don't love that. It's that I do not want y'all having some of these same problems 6 months from now. 6 months from now, you should not have toxic people as friends. Toxic people are always going to be around. But 6 months from now, you should not have a toxic friend in your small circle, period. You should not be in a toxic relationship because you put boundaries in place. If you do not put boundaries in place, you are choosing to repeat this cycle over and over and over again. And listen to me when I say you do not want to be in these cycles. I've been there, done that. Was looking like, dang, you remind me of so-and-so. Dang, it's the same outcome from my last relationship because I did not learn. I don't have a friend behind me. Nice try. You have to learn and apply. Now, some of y'all think y'all growing, y'all gonna go off here, y'all can keep going about your business and be like, I'm gonna be friends with toxic people all I want to. Okay. I'll still answer your inboxes. But I'm like, didn't you just have a toxic friend yesterday? You can be like, but this is a different one. Why are you still attracting toxic friends? Toxic people should stop messing with you because most of the time, toxic people hang with toxic people. Misery loves company. So they're going to go and say to so-and-so, now you don't want to be friends with her. She be setting boundaries and stuff, and you got to do all of this to be her friend. You're absolutely right. Because I'm realizing that I'm worthy of something. I'm realizing that I'm one of a kind. I got to answer for the world, and I can't waste no more time. And so I'm not wasting time with y'all. Because all y'all want to do is stand around and gossip. All y'all want to do is stand around and do nothing. And I'm trying to be somebody. I am somebody. And I'm trying to be the fullness of exactly who I am. So I really don't have time to be standing around with y'all being messy all day. Like, I know being messy and being petty is like cute. It's not cute. Like, when you get my age, that's not cute anymore. Like, when people are petty and like doing the most, you'd be like, you too grown for that. You too old. And we got to get to that point where we say, when am I going to stop wasting time on foolishness? And when am I going to start walking in the fullness of who I am, even at a young age? What can I do now to start working towards the fullness of who I am? Instead of wasting time with toxic friends and in toxic relationships. When am I going to start doing that? So I don't have to keep going to sleep crying because my friend has spread a rumor about me, or my friend then told my secret to the whole school, and I'm out here looking silly. Well, that's a good question. Is having too many boundaries a thing? I really want to know. That's a good question. I would say set them first. And then we're going to talk about how to implement the boundaries, like how to put them into play on the next live. And so what I would say is, I'm questionable. Set the boundaries up. If you feel like no one is coming around, then I would start to reanalyze the boundaries, because your boundaries are never going to stay the same. They're going to change as you grow. They're going to change as you have different experiences. But I would set them, come up with what they are based on what we talked about today. And then once you come up with what they are, implement them and see if people are like, you doing too much, or see if people are saying, I mean, I would like to, but that doesn't seem realistic. Like, you don't want to set, just like you don't want somebody else to set unrealistic and unreasonable things with you. You can't do that either. So if it seems really far-fetched and it seems very unreasonable, I would go back and look at it. Now, stuff like that might be, like I said, we talk on the phone every single night. That's unreasonable because things happen, right? Phones break, people get put on punishment. So that's not realistic. That's unreasonable. You can't say stuff like, we have to spend 100. I expect you to spend money on me consistently. That's unrealistic because everybody doesn't have a job. Everybody's family isn't able to do that. So think about them more around who you are, your values, your basic human rights, respect, not setting unrealistic expectations, saying no without guilt. Like, you have to be okay with me saying no if it's something I'm not comfortable doing or something I really just don't want to do within, within these means. So that's important. Hey, Lexi, thank you. So it's important to think about that. Any other questions on how to set the boundaries or what a boundary is? Any of those questions? I don't usually do questions at the end. I need to start doing that. Any questions? Any other questions? I'm going to tell you to send me a message send me a message. DM me, as they say. You say no with quick all the time. You have no idea how to get out of that cycle. Any tips on that? That's a good question. So you have to analyze why you're saying no all the time. What is it? Are you really just not trying to do it? Do you not want to be around certain people that's why you're saying no? Are you busy? Or is it that you have to step outside of your comfort zone and actually start to say yes to some things? I read the book, Shonda Rhimes. I don't know if you all heard Shonda Rhimes. Shonda Rhimes has a book called The Year of Yes. And so she said yes just for the entire year. And it completely changed her life. Hey, Palin. So look into that. Look into why you're saying no all the time. What's hindering you from saying yes? And sometimes it's a period of growth. Like, you have to grow. Is it okay to keep a wall every time you meet new people? I would change that word. Instead of wall, it'd be boundary. Boundary you could keep when you meet new people. If you have a wall up, you got to analyze why you have that wall. What is it? Are you not trusting of people? Is it that you just don't want to let anybody in too close because of how you feel about yourself? I do have a sister. You have to analyze why it's wall and not boundary, because boundary you should have with new people. Wall is I'm keeping everybody out. Wall is different from boundary. Boundary is I can let you in. Wall is you can't come in. You want to know these things for when you actually find someone. You're like, okay. Stay with people who you don't want to. How do you start to warm up to them? You can still, so boundaries is not, I'm not going to talk to you at all, period. Boundaries is I'm just not letting you in too close to me. So bye, Stefania. Have good luck on your presentation. So you can still be cordial to people. Like, you can still have conversations. If you watch the same shows, you can still talk about the same shows. If you like the same notebook, you can, use the same notebook. If you both like to draw, you can still draw together. The boundary is more about letting people into your personal life, your personal space. We're talking about boundaries. It's okay, Lexi. So that's important to know that boundaries is not stay away from me. Boundaries is you can only come so close to me. Like, you can't get to know me too personal. I'm not telling you my secrets. I'm not telling you my dreams. I'm not telling you things that I strive to do, because those are personal to me. Those are things that really you want to look at it as, I only want to let the people in around me that are going to help me to become my best self. Where if I tell you something, like if I tell you a dream, how are you going, like, what are your responses to my dream? Are you always going to be negative? If you feel like you tell somebody a dream and you know they're going to be negative, those are people you don't want around. Like, you don't want anybody basically, I don't want to say spitting on your dream or spitting on who you are or who you're becoming, but it's basically, if they're not there, if you cannot trust them to help you be your best self, you want to try to stay as far away from, not stay as far away, but you only want to let them in so far. Right. So basically, you can't be my friend. Right. We can be cordial. We can be nice to each other. We can have things in common. We can have conversations, all of that. But as far as letting you in to see not just my strengths, but also my weaknesses, like, friends is you see me at my weak moments too. And if I can't trust you, if I can't let you in, if you can't meet my basic boundaries, then I don't want you to see me at my weakest point, because I don't know what you'll do. I don't know if you'll take advantage. I don't know if you'll make it worse. I don't know if you'll brush off how I'm feeling. So the boundary is set for only special people with special access can get that close, because I trust them with the best parts of me, and I trust them with some of the worst parts of me as well. So think about it like that too. That's a good way to think about it. You just lost your BFF. You're working on dropping a toxic, but if you drop her, you'll have no friends. You'll have friends. You just have to analyze how you were as a friend, how you can improve. What do you want in another friend? And then open yourself up to people that maybe you wouldn't be friends with before. Sometimes I think we always try to be friends with one type of person, and we don't really open ourselves up to people that are different from us, because truthfully, those can be some of the best friends you have. So open yourself up to new friendships. At school, talk to somebody that people don't normally talk to. Talk to the person that's the quietest in the room. You may find out they're absolutely amazing. Welcome, Syria. Is that right? Syria. You okay? I'm not embarrassing myself. This will be on YouTube. Any other questions on boundaries, how to set them, or what they are? And then our next live, we'll talk about how to implement them. What about being a pleaser? Ooh, Slay Riri. That is something you have to get rid of ASAP. Being a people pleaser. Because if you don't get rid of people pleasing, you will always be striving to do, and you'll always be thinking about what other people are thinking about you. And that hinders you more than it helps you. Take it from somebody that was a people pleaser majority of her life. Still struggling with people pleasing. And not even in the physical, but just mentally thinking about what other people are thinking about me. That adds on to that anxiety. So with the people pleasing, you got to start breaking that. You have online school. You have no idea how to do that. Some ideas. I don't know if you all have breakout rooms, but maybe asking questions and seeing, people that may have some of the same interests you have. Or even, I don't know if you're part of Girlfriend Gang, but join Girlfriend Gang. Link in my bio. We got some cool girls over there. Peer pressure. We're going to do a live on peer pressure. But you cannot give in to peer pressure just to fit in. Because what are you fitting into? When we ask ourselves a legit question, what am I trying to fit into? A group of cool kids, and I still don't even know why they're cool. I don't know who established them as cool. Why am I going to do that? Why am I going to compromise what I believe in just to be cool to you? That's a boundary you have to set in place. What about people stabbing you in the back? Get rid of them. And then you have to heal from how they stabbed you in the back, and then learn the lessons from it, so you can set up the boundary so that it doesn't happen again. You don't invite those people in again. What about, I'm scrolling back up. What about weight, loving your body type? I did a video on self-love. I did like a whole series on self-love. Check out my YouTube. Hey, Devil Moon. It's okay, most hated. When's the next live? It will be tomorrow. Y'all won't have people stab you in the back if you set up these boundaries. This is the thing. They won't even know what to stab you with if you don't let them in. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So right now for me, it's 9. So figure out what time it is where you live, and then figure out the timing. People will not stab you in the back if they don't know what knife to use and they don't know where to stab you. That's the truth. Many times when you let in these toxic people and you let them get to know you, and your positive, they get to know your strengths, and they get to know your weaknesses. If you're not careful, you're letting in somebody that is just there to pry on your weaknesses and take advantage of them. So if they can't even get in to know your weaknesses, how will they know where to stab you and what to stab you with? They won't. They will not. I used to, let me tell you, when I was in my toxic friend period, because I definitely had a few, but one of them, when I was in college, I told the story before. When I was in high school, I would get bullied, but not like, oh, you're fat, oh, you're stupid, nothing like that. But just, I had a group of people around me that would just say really petty and really catty things to me on a consistent basis. And so that happened all my junior year. Like, even like I was overweight and then I lost some weight. And they were like, oh, you so skinny. Are you even eating? Like, and they would say it being planned, but it was consistent. So to me, it was bullying. So I got tired of it my junior year. My senior year, I started to create like a little cabinet in my head where I started to monitor their weaknesses. And people do this. I started to monitor their weaknesses. And so when they would say something about me, I would tap into my little filing cabinet, pull out their weaknesses, and I would say something to them. So like I wasn't just out here making cute little funny jokes bullying. No, I was coming for the whole thing. Like I was coming for your heart. And they started to say, they'd be like, dang, Allyson, that was real harsh. And I'm like, so you can say what you're saying to me, but I can't say what I got to say to you. So they got really upset with me. So when I got to my seat, can you be mean back? No, because you're better than that. Oh, and that's a conversation for another day. You have to hold yourself to a higher standard. You cannot meet them where they are. You have to hold yourself to a higher standard, because if you meet them where they are, you're just as bad as they are. So my freshman year of college, I roomed with my best friend at the time. We were in high school together. And I started a filing cabinet on her because she started saying stuff about me too. And so I knew exactly what to pull on if she said something slick to me. So I'll explain in a minute, Lexi. So she said one time I got into the cafeteria. I had a boyfriend at the time. We were all in there eating. We were all in there eating dinner in the cafeteria. And she said, yeah, I see you got all that food, fat girl. You got all that food, fat girl, being funny. And so I went in my little cabinet, pulled out my file, said, oh, this will be a good thing to pull on. And I said, at least I have a man, because I kept track of her weaknesses. So if she would have set boundaries if we would have set boundaries in place our freshman year, we probably wouldn't have been friends, because she would have seen that I could be a toxic friend. I would have seen that she could be a toxic friend. And that's what I did. So you have to be mindful of who you're letting in. That's why I say set boundaries, because the very person you let in to be a best friend, to be a little BFF, to be a little boyfriend, could be the very person that is keeping a record of your weaknesses to attack at the right time. That's why boundaries are important. You don't want somebody to have any type of ammo. And this is the thing, even if they have the ammo, you want to be able to trust that they'll never use it, no matter how bad it gets. If you cannot trust somebody with ammo that can kill you, somebody with ammo that can truly hurt you, if you can't trust that they'll never use it, you should not let them close to you, period. Period. You don't trust anyone now. We got to work on that, Lexi. So Lexi, what I mean is, so if a bully comes to you and they start saying something about you and they start being mean to you, if you start saying something mean back, if the teacher comes up and she hears both of y'all, both of you look like bullies. Both of you. If you get in an argument with somebody, the teacher come up and see what's happening, both of y'all in trouble. Why get in trouble with the true bully? Why get in trouble with the person that was actually saying what they were saying? And you were really saying nothing but defending yourself. So it's important that you hold yourself to a better standard. So what do? So we talked about this before. Bully comes up to you and says, oh, Lexi, your shoes so dirty. Look at your shoes and be like, you know what? They are a little dirty. I ran in the mud yesterday and did not clean them. But thank you for telling me. I appreciate it. Bullies are looking for a response. Bullies are looking for the dramatic response. They want the attention. They want to know that they got you. And the thing is, what bullies are looking for is control. So if every time they say something to you and you start crying or you start going off, they have control over you. You are like in that moment, you are their puppet. So that, no, don't take it as a compliment, but what you want to do is you want to take control back of the situation. So if they say, Allyson, your hair looks so nappy today. I'd be like, girl, I know, man, I got to brush this stuff out. Because the thing is, I'm going to I'm going to take that power back. What you saying about me, if it's true, I'm going to walk in that. If they say, you so light skinned, you white. No, not really. Not really. I'm light skinned. No, I am pretty light. But I'm not white though. But thank you for that opinion that you have. Have a good day. I don't want you to think that you control me. I don't want you to think that I'm scared of you. I don't want you to think that you can say something to me and I'm not going to say something back. You're not more powerful than I am. You think your voice is powerful, so is mine. And I'm going to shut you down every time. It's about shutting it down. I'm going to stop it. I'm going to stop it. Oh, your eyebrows, they don't look the same. You know what you write. And my eyebrow lady, she on maternity leave, so I got to wait till she come back. I'm just out here trying. What they going to say? Yeah, they look crooked. Okay, we've already addressed that, but thank you. Anything else? Because I love me enough that I know I got flaws. You loving yourself doesn't mean you don't have flaws, doesn't mean there's no room for improvement, none of that. So when you bring up one of my flaws, or you bring up something about me that's not perfect, you're right, it's not perfect. It's me though. And I love me. So we're gonna talk about me. Cool. Let's talk about me. Let's talk about how amazing I am. Let's talk about how I'm one of a kind. Let's talk about how I'm rare. And we can talk about you being rare too, honey, because obviously you don't know. You out here trying to push your pain on somebody else. You hurting. What's going on? You okay? You need somebody to talk to? They be like, whatever, get away from me. Okay. If you want to have this conversation later, though, let me know. Okay. She said tea and biscuit. Y'all funny. So we will be live again tomorrow. That's it. Learn early. It's important. We will be live again tomorrow to talk about, yes, hurt people. Exactly, Kiriana. How do you tell your parent? Ooh, write a letter ASAP. Write that letter ASAP. Don't let them find out too late, because my mama did. That's a story for another day. Tomorrow we will be back talking about how to implement our boundaries. How do we put them in place? What does that look like? What does it look like? All right. But as always, I'm going to pray with you before we go. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So right now for me, it is 9:17. So figure out what time it is for you and then compare the time, and then you'll know what time to meet me here. All right. But I love y'all. I'm going to pray with you really quick. Every day, not every single day. So it's usually every day, but I'm cutting back a little bit on TikTok because I want to give all my time to my girlfriend gang. If you don't know what girlfriend gang is, girl, go to my bio and register for free. Okay, Lexi, register for free. All right, but I love y'all. Let's pray. Father God, I come to you in Jesus' name, first saying thank you for who you are. Thank you for this time together on TikTok and on YouTube, and for every girl that will watch the replay and every guy that may come across this replay, Lord. I first thank you for every single one of their lives. I thank you that they are here for such a time as this, that you put an answer for the world on the inside of them. You've handcrafted them for a specific reason, to look the way they look, to sound the way they sound, to walk the way they walk, and to talk the way they talk, Lord. And I pray that they will begin to look in the mirror and embrace every single part of it in the name of Jesus. Lord, we've been talking about boundaries and how to really protect what you have given us, God. And so I ask that you would give us the strength and the boldness to put these boundaries in place and begin to implement them. We're going to talk about implementation, Lord, but even give us ideas on how to implement them, but to not be afraid to protect the greatness that we possess, to not be afraid to protect what we possess. For us to understand and to learn first that we are worthy of good friendships, of good relationships, for us to understand and know that we are worthy of being able to set up boundaries, because we know we carry an answer for the world. Our time on this earth is not very long. And so we have to treat every minute with purpose. We have to treat every minute like it's going to be our last, Lord. And so I just ask you to give them the strength and the boldness to begin to stand up for what they possess, stand up for who they are, stand up for their beauty, begin to set and implement that they don't have to try to attain every unrealistic expectation the world try to set for them, that they begin to understand and look in the mirror and see the true, unique beauty that they possess, that they understand that you have created no one else to look like them, no one else to sound like them, and no one else to be them. And that is their superpower. That is what helps them stand out from the crowd. That is what is going to be an answer for this world. I pray that they all have sweet sleep, Lord. I pray that their parents will even begin to understand boundaries. I pray that you soften their parents' heart, for these girls have things to tell them. And I pray that you will open back up the door of communication in every single one of their homes in the name of Jesus. I pray for sweet sleep, for them to be able to get good rest, wake up in the morning, finish out the week for school strong, pass all their tests, Lord. I pray that every bit of knowledge, every bit of information is easily attainable to them. In the name of Jesus Christ, I pray. Amen. All right. I love y'all. I will see you back here tomorrow. Join Girlfriend Gang. If you have not joined Girlfriend Gang, I don't know why. It is free. But come on, join. Our next Zoom live call is Saturday. This Saturday. You do not want to miss it. If we reach 100 girlfriends by Saturday, I'm doing a giveaway. And you don't want to miss it because it's exclusive merch I have not released yet. And you want to be the first to have it, duh. You also get free chapters from day one. Oh, you cried. Oh, I love you, Unquestionable. And from the journal and from the book for the power of standing out. Pre-order my book. How do you join? Link is in my bio. Girlfriend Gang, hangouts.girlfriendgang.hangouts.hg, girlfriendgang.com. It is free. You just need your parents' email and a password. And yeah, but if we reach 100, giveaway time. It's free, y'all. Why you don't join? It's free. It is free. And you'll find people over there that have some of the same interests you have. Can I be a friend? I could be your big sister. Or just sister, depending on your age. Or a younger sister with a little bit of wisdom. I don't know. But I love y'all. I'm getting off here. Have a good night. Do good in school tomorrow. And if I get on live and you in class, don't get on. Or you're going to be in trouble. I'm just playing. All right. Love y'all. Peace. Bye, y'all.